there, this is your host Irish, and I welcome you to another episode of Brighture podcast where we talk about everything and anything under the sun. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Also, follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So, happy Love Month, guys! Do you see my heart? Is it a heart? Yes. There. Now, in the last episode, we talked about the many forms of love according to ancient Greek. If you haven't watched that episode and you want to know more about what those forms of love are, as well as the love languages, watch this video. Now, one of the forms of love that we discussed in that episode is eros. Eros is a form of love that is present when you are romantically in love with someone. And Dan and Derek described it as the most celebrated and most explored of all types. Hence, we will be talking about dating today. Hello! Now, since we're going to be talking about dating and relationships, which we all know is a very extensive topic, it's a very wide topic, I have asked Ray to be my co-host today. Yeah. Yes, yay. Welcome back, Ray. Now, for those who don't know who Ray is, we have already featured him in our special episode. Now, if you haven't watched that, go back to that and watch it, okay? Or just put it here, something, or the link, okay? Now, for my guests, I will be joined by two lovely ladies. Now, I will let them introduce themselves to you guys. So let's start with the beautiful lady on my left.
Hi guys, my name is Chen and I'm Brighture's academic head. About myself, I am a homebody, so nowadays I'm into Discovery Plus and a lot of Netflix binging. That's it.
Discovery Plus, really?
Yes. Okay. There are a lot of shows.
Like what? Sorry. Give us one
You'll be surprised. There are a lot of shows even about dating and relationships.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay, we'll watch that. Sorry? Yes?
So hello everyone, my name is Mercy. I'm an English teacher. In my free time, I love watching vlogs, specifically travel vlogs. And I'm into extreme sports when I'm on vacations.
Extreme. How
Example.
extreme?
Like riding ATV, canyoneering, diving, those stuff.
Wow.
Wow. That's great. That's great to hear. All right. So, like I said, we'll be talking about love generally. So, my first question to both of you, what's dating for you? So let's start with a simple question. So who wants to answer first?
I think Mercy wants to answer.
Okay, go Mercy.
Go Mercy.
All right, well, to me, dating has a romantic connotation when two people spending time with each other with the intention of settling down or getting married.
Mm. Okay, so it's like your first step to forever.
Yes.
All right.
Getting to know each other as well.
Yeah. Chen?
Well, for me, I think dating is different for different cultures because it can be, like what Mercy said, a step to a deeper relationship or a more committed relationship. But dating can also be a status. So you can be with someone and consider yourself as dating. So it's different for different cultures.
So you talk about like different cultures, and let's focus on Filipino culture. So I think because of the Americanization of the Philippines, there has been changes when it comes to the notions of dating, which is evident in your answers. You both have different answers.
True.
So what do you think? How has the notions of dating changed over time in the Philippines?
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
yes.
I'll go first. All right. I think that it has to do with control because a long time ago, females were mostly pursued by males. So it's the man has more control in the relationship. So there wouldn't be a relationship if the man doesn't pursue. But nowadays, it can go both ways. So a woman can pursue a man or a man can pursue the woman. But of course, there's still that idea where people that conservative idea. So people can find that a little bit too straightforward, a little bit too strong and aggressive if the woman makes the first move. So yes, nowadays it's different in terms of control.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
So it means
Yes.
like it's okay if the woman make the first move.
Well, I think it's okay if the first move is a text message, or it can be a call, maybe a text message. That's fine.
It because it's different. In my perspective, it should be the man, right? To persuading the woman. But in your case, as you've mentioned earlier, that a message, or what kind of message is that?
Well, you can always hit someone up and tell someone, introduce yourself to someone. That can be the first part of getting to know someone, right? The first part to dating, the first step to dating is getting to know someone. So, yes, sending a text message, but nothing more than that, because it can seem like you're a bit too aggressive.
But isn't it okay if the woman is too aggressive more than the man?
Yeah, because I've seen that on social media, like women proposing to men, right? They have like surprise proposal,
And
something.
it's not usual because before
Yeah.
we can always see the men do the efforts, but right now it's different.
Yes.
Well, I guess it depends on the people who's in the relationship.
Yes.
Because it could be that, you know, this the guy hasn't made the move yet, but they've already talked about it like several times, and then they're just like waiting for the other party to make the move, and they're very open about it. So I think it's okay when the girl proposes to the guy.
So there's like there's mutual understanding between
Yes.
the
Yes,
couple.
of
Yes.
course.
All right. Now let's talk about more about the getting to know stage. So of course we have to start dating before we get to know someone. So when do you think is the best time to start dating? Because I think nowadays it's becoming younger. The age is becoming younger. When I was young, when I was in elementary, I only thought about playing games. But right
True.
now, kids in elementary are talking about getting to know someone.
Even like
crushes.
12 years old, you can already
Yeah.
hear them. "Ah, my crush is like this, like that." But in our case, I think we have this. I'm the youngest, I believe, among the group. No, during our time, like 12 years old, we just all we knew was just to play, just playing. But right now it's different. You can see already like 12 years old wearing makeup, lipstick. They know how to groom themselves. So it's quite different this time.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say there is such as perfect time to date, but it really depends on your priorities in life. Like we all have different priorities. Like if you first want to finish your studies before exploring the
Dating world. Yeah.
yeah, then you do you. Like but if you like you're into more social interactions, I believe a lot of people start dating as early as high school.
Yeah.
But in your case, Marcia, I'm just curious. Do you think dating will be an hindrance in our studies, in your studies before?
When it's not when the person is not well oriented, it could be.
But in your case, based on your experience, did you think about it? Like, I have to finish my studies first, because that's very common
Yeah.
Yes.
for us. Yeah, for us. Did I think about it? I'm not so sure. But yeah, that's very common for us Filipinos. We always think that, and even our parents,
Yeah.
that is always the very common and very used advice. Like, you have to finish studies first before falling in love.
Yeah.
In your case, based on your experience, did you think about it?
Well, not really, because when I was in high school and college, I was a working student, so I was just school and then the house chores. And also my parents didn't really restrict me when it comes to dating.
Wow,
So,
lucky you.
I didn't have to rebel like I could date whenever I want.
So your parents gave you the freedom to choose.
Yes.
That's the advantage. Later on, we'll become parents, and I
Yeah.
think that's one of the best way to you have to let your children decide whatever they want, and you just need to support and advise.
True.
Let's go to Chen, the expert.
I think that as long as you're aware, or as long as you truly understand the concept of dating, then you should start to date. But if you think that it's dating is just playing around with other people's feelings just so you can show something on social media, then I think you shouldn't get into it.
So it all depends. There's no specific number. There's no specific age.
No,
It
I
all
don't think there
depends
should
on.
be.
And you should
maturity.
know your limitations as
Yes,
well.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's the most very important. That's very important
Yeah.
because in dating everything might happen, right? And then you have to set boundaries. You have to set limitations for dating.
That's true. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, part of getting to know one another or part of dating is going out on actual dates, right? So we're curious to know what is your idea of a perfect date and what do you think is an ideal place to go on a date?
I think that the most ideal place, I wouldn't say there's an ideal place.
Okay.
I expect that answer.
Coming from an idealistic person, I think that a date only becomes ideal if you're out with a person who's ideal, probably. So as long as you have good conversation, good food, then that's perfect. And I think a big factor would be the environment. It shouldn't be in a club.
When you get drunk.
Your first date.
It should be somewhere where you can hear each other because a good relationship starts with a good conversation.
Yeah.
No, it's so nice. It's how I understand the explanation of Chen is like it's not about the place, it's not about the food, it's about the person.
Yes.
Oh.
Mercy.
Well, to me, this may sound cliche, but I think the coffee shop is an ideal place for first dates because it's very casual. You won't get drunk.
It's like the perfect environment.
It seems like it's based on experience, Mercy, isn't it?
Partly.
I knew it.
No, both of you. Oh no, yeah. I think both of you mentioned that it's important to have a good conversation, right? So, what do you usually talk about on a date? Let's focus on first dates. So, what do you usually talk about during first dates, in a coffee shop or in a restaurant or somewhere?
Well, I could actually think of 3 things. So, first about, say, job,
Oh, okay.
hobbies, and also status. Like, I have to know what's his status? Is he
Is he
single, widowed, married, or separated? So, it's very
But
important.
why job?
Yeah.
Because it will also help you, because some people set standards, like checklist. Oh, I don't want to be in a relationship with, for example, with a person whose profession is like this or like that. So, yes.
I think because Mercy's notion of dating is a step to getting
Forever.
married.
Yeah.
Yes, before getting married. So
It's
that's
so-
one of her.
It's so conventional.
All right.
For me, can I just say what not to talk about
Okay.
on a first
Great.
date?
That's great.
Based on experience.
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't talk about first politics.
I think we should not talk about politics at all.
It's gonna lead to an argument eventually.
Yes.
It would be the perfect match if you both have the same ideas in politics, but no. And another thing, probably you never talk about your exes, past relationships.
true.
Never bring that up. It adds pressure. Also, it's a little awkward, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And probably one thing you never talk about is feelings. It's a first date. I mean, you don't want to talk about feelings just yet. You want to show another side of you, not your true side yet. You want the other person to uncover your true self later on.
Is it the same as playing hard to get or no?
No, because you don't want to show everything on the first stages of your relationship.
So you want to
You're
maintain
being
that mystery.
right. You're being too vulnerable. Then you're gonna get hurt if it
It's
doesn't end
it's
well.
like getting to know each other, but the other person should know you first.
Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, I realized that today. Thank you, Guru Chen. Love Guru.
The love guru. Okay, now since we're all ladies except Ray,
Yeah.
what do you think about going Dutch on a date? Because I think part of Filipino culture is that, or I think in many cultures as well, the men always pay, right, during a date. But right now, what do you think of going Dutch? Is it okay, or maybe not on the first date, maybe after a few dates or something?
Or it's an turn off for girls.
Or for men, based on your experience?
I think that I don't know, I'm sorry, but I think that the man should always pay for the first date. But
I
that's
agree.
for the first dinner.
Or
Dessert
lunch.
or coffee that comes after, then the woman should,
I thought the man
for
should
something.
pay first, and then the second time, then third, fourth, fifth will be the
Woman.
the woman.
That's the one.
No. Then Mercy is gonna say no. It's part of standards.
Yeah, she said that's too much.
I'm busy. I'm sleeping.
Okay, yeah, first date. How about you, Mercy?
I actually have the same thoughts
Mm.
with Miss Chen. So it's okay on first dates, but when you've been going out, let's say more than a couple of times, going Dutch is okay.
Right now, dating is more like a balance between the
Yeah.
men and the women, right?
Right.
It's not more men always pleases the women. It's both ways. Okay. Now, let's go to the next step of dating, which is like being in an actual relationship. Well, I think some people also call that dating, but being boyfriend, girlfriend, like
Okay.
that. So how do you know, from getting to know each other stage, how do you know when's the right time to, move on to the next level in your relationship and
Yeah.
call yourself official? We're exclusively dating, we're an official couple, and like that.
I think that it should be a mutual agreement, but someone has to bring it up.
true.
Someone. So it's not always the man.
It's not always because if the man brings it up and the woman isn't ready, then there's no point. So, but it's really about the feeling. You know the right moment when it comes. So, but it has to be an agreement. It should never be forced, or no one should ever be pressured into getting committed with someone.
Yes, and also for starters, there should be a spark between you guys. Like if you don't share the same interests or the same values, then it would be difficult to be in a relationship later on.
I'm curious though. Do you girls have or ladies have any tips to know to distinguish that feeling if it's mutual already? Because I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's also my question.
Based on my experience, the feeling comes in a very amazing situation or a very troubling situation. Because when you're in an obstacle together, then you'll realize your true feelings for each other. Or when you're in the most amazing moment together, then you'll realize this is the person I want to be with.
Okay.
So nothing in between, because in between, it doesn't spark anything, as what Mercy says. That's for me.
Same with you too, Mercy.
Yes, and also like when you've been through thick and thin, it also helps you realize.
Extreme situation.
Yes, it's extreme.
Okay. Do you have any follow-ups, Ray?
Yeah, I'm just amazed about their answer.
Yeah,
Seems-
me too.
Seems like they are very expert.
Yeah,
Not really,
I'm
so
happy having them
It
here.
depends. Case to case basis still.
All right, now let's talk about what breakups there.
Oh my
Because of
gosh.
course it's part of dating, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think like what Mercy said, her goal is to marry, or her. I think many of us, our goal in dating is to find our forever, if there is such thing as forever.
But yeah,
Hashtag
and
bitter.
then bitter. But yeah, of course, I always believe that dating someone, or loving someone is like a journey. You're
Yeah.
looking for the right person. But of course, lucky you if you can find it right away. But it's not
Yes.
always like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there will always be breakups.
Yes. So, based on your experience, what's the most common reason why couples break up? Not just in your personal experience. I mean, people around you, your friends, people you know. So what's a common reason?
So what I notice, it's being fragile. Because, everyone who's in a relationship goes through some struggles, like trust issues, lack of communication, quality time. But when a person is not 100% committed into a relationship, sometimes it's very easy to fool around.
So trust, lack of communication,
Or
and what's the-
basically being fragile.
being fragile. All right. Okay.
For based on experience.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I think the number one most common reason for breakups is wait for it. Unfaithfulness, dishonesty,
Infidelity.
Yes, it drags along a lot of issues.
We feel you, Chen.
Thank you. I think a lot can relate.
Yeah, a lot can relate. So how do you cope up then with a breakup?
Well, definitely, we read this from the book a lot of times, and any means of communication, throw away everything that reminds you of him or her, and then spend time with your friends and family. And of course, you have to embrace the emotions. Be sad, be angry.
So don't be in denial.
Yes, the quicker you accept that you're heartbroken, the easier or the quicker you move on.
But we have a lot of ways, and we have our own ways to move on, right?
Yeah, it still depends on the person.
Like in my case, I'd rather cry alone rather than sharing problems,
Yeah.
sharing my heartbreaks to anyone.
Yeah.
I never tried that. So yeah, it really depends. But let's go to the love guru.
The love guru.
The well
We always have her
experienced.
last. Right? We're excited.
My answer to the question would be the best way you can. Cope the best way you can. Every person copes differently.
Yeah.
And every relationship is different. So the way you coped in the last breakup would be so much different with this breakup.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly the same.
Yes.
And it's only you who can fix it. You can
Right.
fix your broken heart. Chan. No one else. Even if you have friends, and even if you share it to your friends about your heartbreak, your breakup with your partner, but still, it's really up to you. So no matter what advice your friends will give you, if you don't help yourself, then you
Yeah.
cannot easily move on.
That's right.
So you have to find self-love, self-worth, and all that.
Go pamper yourself.
Pamper yourself. Yeah.
How do you pamper yourself after a breakup?
I go for a massage.
Ooh.
Full body massage.
Is it hard, mild, or
Hot
soft?
zone.
Hot stone.
Hot
okay.
stone massage.
And then you throw it after.
You release the anger. So speaking of moving on, how would you know that you've already moved on? It's already time to move on from a heartbreak. I've cried enough. I've cried a lot of buckets of tears. I've already ranted on social media and all that. So I'm done. How do you know that you've moved on?
I think that when you've moved on when you have no reason to cry anymore. For a woman, I don't know exactly how a man copes, but for me, until I have no tears left, then it's time to get my. Can I say this on air? To get my shit together, and get out there and start dating.
Well, it's somehow my answer is actually somehow related to Miss Chan's answer. So you would know when you've really move on from someone when you no longer listen to your breakup playlist. Do you guys have that? A breakup playlist?
I already forgot.
No.
The last relationship I had was a very long time ago. I'm already in love with Brighture.
Wow.
Right? Rushi. But yeah, talking about moving on, but it's not about because I always believe that when you say moving on doesn't mean that you need to have a new partner or looking for a new
that's right.
partner. It's also giving chances to the person that you love, especially if you still love that person, and then that person committed mistake, and you give chances. It's normal, especially for girls. I know that you have a very soft heart. And just one I love you from a boyfriend, maybe you can give chances. Right, Chen? Do you agree with me? Okay.
Yes, I agree.
So that's my question. When is the will be the last straw?
When is enough enough?
Yeah. When is enough for you?
Personally, to me, enough is enough when there's third party involved
Mm.
or a third party involved. Because as a woman, I would also like to encourage everyone to, never let the other person or your partner treat you as an option.
I hope our IT personnel is listening right now.
AKA Izel.
He's here.
Yes, this one's for you, Isa.
But yeah, I'm just because I always believe also, Mercy, that women, women as we are, no, human as we are, we are very prone for mistakes,
Yeah.
and man is just the word marupok. No, we commit mistakes sometimes. It's not it's avoidable though, but sometimes man always get into that kind of mistake. So if ever in your case, it's quite personal, but even if even in your case, if for example your boyfriend cheated on you once, so meaning that's already
That's over?
enough. Yeah, that's over for you.
Yes, because the fact that he even like consider it, it's we're done.
My God, that's
I'm
scary.
better myself.
Then you deserve someone more special than him.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the love expert.
Was that meant for me?
The expert for giving chances.
Yes, I'm a lover and a fighter. So the number of chances I give would depend on my willingness to fight for the relationship. So you don't necessarily fight for the person because you can never really change someone.
Yeah.
But if there's still that glimmer of hope to fight for the relationship, then I think that you should give another chance. But enough is enough when things start to get physical. But not just that. It could also be emotional because there's such thing as emotional abuse.
Yeah.
So when the gaslighting begins, that's when you try to consider that it's about time to end the relationship.
But there are many women in relationships, in abusive relationships, that feel, I don't know, they're confused. They don't know how to get out from that type of relationship. Do you have like any advice to those women out there, or even men or women who are in abusive relationships?
Thank you for that, Irish. Thank you for including me.
It can be both ways.
I feel so depressing.
Yes, of course. Men or women go through abusive relationships.
Thank you so much.
So do you have any advice or maybe suggestions, or I don't know, based from your experience or from your friends' experience, that you could tell them so that they will find in their selves or in their hearts to really stop and really get out from that abusive relationship?
I think it's hard to convince someone to get out of it because it's a cycle. There's a honeymoon stage where the man tries to lure the woman back in, and then she's head over heels back falling in love with him and stuff. But my only advice would be to probably look into the red flags, because then you'll know. Okay. It's hard when you're in an emotionally abusive relationship because you tell yourself it's your fault.
Yeah.
You convince yourself more and more that it's your fault, then you try to save the relationship. Hence the number of chances given.
That's why I have this friend. I'll just not mention the name.
Okay.
Why are you smiling?
Let's call the friend it.
Just code name Casper.
Okay.
The friendly ghost. No, I have this friend that I know she's very lovable and she's very in love with someone, but I always advise them, not only one. I have I think 2-3 friends. I always tell them to love themselves. That's a very important, and I agree with Chen. As long as if you keep on blaming yourself, it means that you don't love yourself. But when you decide to love yourself, that's a time that you can start moving on.
That's right.
So another hashtag, self-love.
Yeah, that's why. After the breakup, it should be self-love.
Self-love, yeah. All right, so since you've moved on already, how do you know when to start dating after a breakup?
That's the very crucial question, because
Yeah.
we will be judged by our decision to that. Because I always believe about I always hear, not believe, but I always hear about this 3-month rule. And every time that we don't follow the 3-month rule, we will be judged by other people. It's either you're a bad girlfriend, you're a player, or you're a bad boyfriend, you're a player, something like that. That's always a question. Is it when is the right time to say, like, okay, let's have a new one? Mercy.
In my view, I don't actually set a time frame because we all have, we all, or depending on the person and how invested he or she is in the relationship, then it would also determine the time that he needs to move on. So to me, it will come.
So you don't believe in 3-month rule?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe in any rules
Why are you angry?
I'm not.
Okay.
I don't believe in any rules that involve numbers because I think when you put numbers in love and dating, then that adds pressure to anyone. I mean, like 3 months. What if you're still not ready after 3 months, or what if you are ready in 2 months or a month after,
True.
Or 1 week.
So then you start dating when you want to. Dating it doesn't mean you are in a relationship with the next person.
Yeah.
It just means you want to meet someone.
True. It's like if you've already moved on, meaning you're ready for a new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So based on your experience or experiences, what made you decide to find love again?
Well, love is the most wonderful feeling. It makes you giddy, makes you excited, makes you motivated. So basically, that's the reason. Well, we keep searching for the one, we keep falling in love again, even though we've been to many failed relationships. Yes.
So the spark, if you feel that spark, then you decide, or what? Does that mean that you've fallen in love again? You're ready to try another?
Yes. When your heart is at peace, then you're ready, and then, well, it's the most wonderful feeling to be in love.
And to be loved.
Yes, definitely.
Amen.
The end.
I think falling in love is always a choice. So yes, that's a good question. Deciding to fall in love, in my relentless
Journey?
pursuit of finding the one, I've never given up on love, even if I've failed numerous times before, and I think that no one should.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Speaking of the one, how do you know that that person is already the one? Mercy?
Well, let me just quote like a famous line from the movies, that when you could see a future with that person, then you would know his or she is the one. Like, if you have the same priorities. Yes.
I've asked that question to men in my previous relationships, and they've usually given me a very cliche response. The typical, the person is the one who makes food for you when you come home, or this person supports you. Well, yes, ideally that should be the answer, but there's not just one answer to that question. I mean, there should be a lot of things all in one, I think. So the only person who gave me that response, when I heard that response from one person, it really caught my attention. He said, that person is the one when that person doesn't chain you. And basically, when you know. It's a feeling.
You know when you know.
Have you found the one? Have you found the one?
Have you found the one, Mercy?
Yes.
Show that again.
Fireworks everywhere.
Okay, you're already engaged. Wow.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
I'm excited to see to
How
eat
about
lechon.
Chen? Let's check.
Nothing.
Not yet, but
Not
soon.
All right. So thank you so much, ladies and Ray, for joining us in our special podcast Love Month episode for today. So it's time to hear about what you think. Now, write down in the comments below, how has the notions of dating changed in your culture over time? Dating and relationships, basically. So we are really excited to read your comments below. So please add them. And maybe we can do a shout out in the future episodes. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining me, Chen, Mercy, and Ray in our podcast today. See you next time, guys. Spread the love. Bye.